Clear your lesson from here, clear your vision from here, and wear your mission from here. Here you can experience the true potential of Ayurveda through SBEBA. So I stand for SBEBA. You?
Ayurveda is currently practiced as tradition-led medicine, in place of original science-based one, for at least 1 century. There have never been an attempt to emerge inbuilt scientific standards of clinical decision-making, in accordance to conventional healthcare requirements. Practitioners are following self and shared experiences, and baseless intuitions, in their clinical practice, and for this reason, irrational prescribing is the most dangerous, least detected habit of Ayurveda medical professionals. After conducting more than a decade of both basic and clinical research, by Dr. Raj Kumar and Dr. Ramya Krishnan, Associate Professors, Rajiv Gandhi Ayurveda Medical College, SBEBA emerged as the first initiative with scientific clinical decision-making strategies, for the intended, science-led evidence-based practice of Ayurveda. Science-based evidence-based Ayurveda is conscientious, explicit and judicious employment of Ayurvedic science-led diagnostic and treatment guidelines, for scientific clinical decision-making, in every individual subject, based on his own unique cause and circumstances. The most important reason for SBEBA interest is that, it works accurately and amazingly fast, in comparison to currently undergoing, empirical healthcare practices in Ayurveda. There are documented clinical case studies, in large numbers to substantiate this. SBEBA has emerged with 7 crucial discoveries, to revolutionize Ayurvedic healthcare system. With each of these discoveries, the possibility of saving hundreds of patients, by providing the best on the target guidelines, at unimaginably lowest expense becomes realistic, against the rampant, acute, and chronic diseases prevailing in this society today. Discovery 1, Aganchu Dosha, Clinical Relevance and Application. Though doctors learn and talk about tridoshas mentioned in Shastra, they hardly know how to comprehend, and apply them on the target in practice. Aganchu Dosha. Even though mentioned in Ashtanga Hridaya, nobody is clear of its crucial role in initiating disease, how it is different from Sthini doshas, etc. Knowing this demarcated understanding itself, is a big breakthrough in diagnosis and treatment of all diseases and drastically reduce the number of medicines, and the time to attain intended results, and clinic. It also provides deep insight into identifying and reversing complex and intertangled diseases in the same subject.
Hello, this is Dr. Hema. I support SBEBA, always for what is right and what is the truth. This is not my choice, but the decision I made. Thank you.
Namaste, I am Dr. Jyoti Lakhani from Kolkata. I completely support SBEBA, Science-Based Evidence Based Ayurveda. Thank you.
Discovery 2, the intrinsic cause of infection inflammation. SBEBA for the first time has scientifically identified, clinically established, and published the Ayurvedic intrinsic cause mechanisms of all kinds of infective and inflammatory diseases in the body, and they're on the target clinical practice guidelines. Currently the physicians render empirical trial-based treatments, in the same or mixed treatments, with drugs of modern medicine, causing unpredictable hazards in patients. Discovery 3, the intrinsic cause of hypersensitivity and autoimmunity. SBEBA for the first time, has scientifically explored clinically established and published Ayurvedic pathogenesis, and on the target clinical practice guidelines, in hypersensitivity and autoimmunity, and demonstrated it with clinical case studies. Many patients are getting saved by these guidelines for which data is available. Today both these conditions are treated aimlessly, based on symptomatic approach by empirical multiple drugs, and treatments which can cause fatal complications in the patients. Discovery 4. Breakthrough discovery in hypertension. SBEBA has identified and scientifically established the intrinsic cause mechanisms of essential primary hypertension, for which the cause is unknown in modern medicine. The research is published with data by Dr. Raj Kumar, in his PhD thesis. The clinical practice guidelines framed by SBEBA is currently applied in hundreds of patients with mild, moderate, and severe hypertension who were on antihypertensive drugs, after withdrawing these drugs and emerging fast on the target results in them. Normal healthy life is possible by maintaining within normal range of blood pressure after completion of treatment, by following scientific nutrition and regimen guidelines of SBEBA. Discovery 5. Breakthrough discovery in Ayurvedic gynecology. Ayurvedic gynecological physiology, pathophysiology, and pharmacology are explored by both basic and applied research by Dr. Ramya Krishnan, the results of which are published along with case studies in her book Ayurvedic Gynecology, devised and updated. These innovative discoveries save hundreds of women from hysterectomy and other surgical interventions, and risks of hormonal drugs. The clinical practice guidelines are trained to doctors in different parts of the country, with promising results in their practice too. Discovery 6. Breakthrough discovery in metabolic disorders. Definite clinical practice guidelines are developed to effectively manage type 2 diabetes mellitus, its microvascular and macrovascular complications. The guidelines are published and released in National Seminar on SBEBA, type 2 diabetes at Goa, in July 2017.
I'm Dr. Shrutan K, BMS MD from Mangalore. I support science-based evidence-based Ayurveda, the true science of
Discovery 7. Hypo and hyperthyroid guidelines. SBEBA had emerged and published diagnostic and treatment guidelines for hypothyroid and hyperthyroidism. The standardized guidelines are applied in many patients successfully by clinicians in different parts of India. SBEBA strategies are being technically trained to hundreds of practitioners in a systematic training series called SBEBA Wisdom Series right from 2015. The students, researchers, physicians and faculties from all over India and abroad, who are a part of the series have themselves proved to be change agents in their profession and practice, thus opening a new era of scientific renaissance in the history of Ayurveda. SBEBA Wisdom Series is a boon to humanity, comprising of both Ayurveda community, as well as the patient community. The mission had already established the accuracy, scientificity and velocity of action of Ayurvedic science with its impact on hundreds of patients all over the world.
SBEBA, Science-Based Evidence Based Ayurveda. Understand the truth. Beat the disease and be a scientific practitioner.
I strongly support SBEBA. I feel that SBEBA is the only answer for those who question the scientificity of Ayurveda. Support Ayurveda, support SBEBA.
नहि किञ्चित् पुण्यतमं जगति शास्त्रार्थज्ञानात् परं विद्यात् भिषगुत्तमजन्मान करोतु मङ्गलं सदा करोतु मङ्गलं सदा।